And CEO of Molson Coors, owner of beer brands like Coors Light, Miller Lite, and Blue Moon as well. And we know Molson Coors just announced that it signed a 10-year import deal with Heineken to allow it to import, market, and distribute the Mexican-made Sol brand here in the U.S. market beginning this fall. Why is now the right time for this deal? Thank you for joining us. Okay. And please help us as to why now is the best time.
Look, it's great to be here. Our business has been around for a couple of centuries, and over those centuries we've continually shaped and evolved our portfolio. Americans are drinking more lighter flavored beers, and we had a gap in our portfolio for a brand with real genuine Mexican provenance, and we're able to strike a deal with Heineken, and that will be joining our very broad portfolio here in the US later this year.
Do the potential tariffs on imports from Mexico concern your business strategy at all?
Well, at the moment, the majority of our beer has been and continues to be kind of crafted and brewed here in the US. And this will be an important but small part of our portfolio. So if there's fluctuations in tariffs, it's not going to really impact in any significant way the shape of our business or the performance of our business.
In the latest quarter, we saw net sales down fractionally, income down as well, and then there was a comment in the press release saying that 2017 is going to be a transition year as the company builds a larger, stronger, first-choice focused company. What is this first-choice focused company agenda and strategy?
Yeah, within our business, we have 18,000 people, and we all line up behind an agenda, which is to be first choice for consumers and customers. We want to be our customers' go-to supplier, and we want our consumers to look at our brands as the brands that they would actively pursue in the marketplace. So that's what drives us. And clearly, over the course of the last 6 months, we've doubled the size of our business through the acquisition we made in the US. So we've got a lot of work going on through 2017 as we pull our teams together and really set ourselves up for future success. So the transition really relates to just all of the work we're doing to make sure we emerge as a much bigger and stronger business.
When you think about the overall beer market, there's been a major rise when it comes to craft beers, craft breweries. How does that impact, your long-term sort of growth strategy as these craft breweries continue to pop up?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, the great thing about beer is it's one of life's simple pleasures. And our business was founded back in 1786 in Canada and 1873 in the US. So we started as craft brewers. I'll never apologize for the fact over the last 2 centuries we've just become more popular. And the craft of brewing is central to our DNA in our business. We have the largest craft beer in the US in Blue Moon, and we created that 25 years ago. So the craft of brewing is central to who we are. Craft beers are an important part of the beer industry, but we want to make sure we offer a portfolio of beers that cover all occasions and all consumers. And that's why it's important not only just to have craft beers, but to have beers with real kind of broad mainstream appeal in our portfolio, which we do have.
A lot of people drink beer during the football season, and we know the NFL did just recently lift its ban on ads for liquor. And so hard liquor, spirits other than beer per se, how do you think about that, and do you expect that to affect your business at all?
Well, I mean, the great thing is beer is still by far the largest part of the alcohol beverages market, and beer is clearly the drink of moderation. So on many occasions, beer is absolutely the first choice. It's the primary choice, and particularly on sporting occasions where people are watching them for many hours on end. So that competition from spirits and wine has always been there. It will probably always continue to be there. So I don't think this really changes anything materially.
How have you guys really tackled the evolution of the consumer changing taste palette? I mean, a lot of people are trying to maybe perhaps stay away from beer. They feel like they have too many calories, and then you see light beers come out. But how do you really tackle that when the consumer preferences continue to change and evolve?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's central to how we build our marketing team and our commercial team. So if you look at how our portfolio has evolved over the last couple of decades, we've had new brands come into our portfolio, brands like Reds, for example, which is a flavored beer, and that's been very, very successful for us. But many of our classic traditional beers like Coors Banquet or Coors Light, Miller Lite in particular was the original light beer in the US, and low in carbs, low in calories, always has been and always will be. So we have a breadth in our portfolio that allows us to meet the majority of needs that consumers have in the marketplace.
How do you expect the Mexican-made Sol to perform here in the U.S.?
well, we're striking this deal because we're excited by it and we expect it to grow rapidly. That's our expectation, and that's what we'll be lining up behind.
And it's an additional offering. How do you view it? It's an additional offering to your current lineup, or you see a specific demand for it among people? Market research is showing you this, or you think that this is just something that people will really take a liking to when it comes?
Yeah, well, it's a gap in our portfolio. A number of people have tried to launch what I would call kind of made-up Mexican brands, and we were looking for something that was a genuine Mexican import, and we're delighted with Sol. We think it has all of the credentials, and it'll be very complementary to the breadth of portfolio we have in the US.
Well, when I think about beer, as you said, it's one of those nice little luxuries that you have in life, something that people, especially Americans, to the tune of about $37 billion spending every year. What do you kind of see as like your next move in terms of Molson Coors to get more of that market share?
Well, one of the things we've done really successfully in the last 18 months in particular is ensure that our beers, and Coors Light's a great example of this, have got appeal not only for males but females, and we're trying to make our beers have a much broader kind of gender appeal, and that's been very successful. We've got, I think, well over a 40% increase in the number of females who are now who have Coors Light within their repertoire, and women in the US account for about 17 billion servings of beer a year. It's a massive part of the market, and it's a part of the market that I think the brewers have done a poor job in terms of connecting with and communicating with. So we're working hard to make sure that beer stays relevant with all consumers on the majority of occasions.
And marketers generally speaking too, right? In 2016, ramping up those beer advertisements, spending about $1.6 billion on beer advertisements, up about 20% from the same time a year ago. And so in this transition year for you, do you expect more marketing to happen, or as you transition, maybe the marketing takes a step back until the transition is complete and then the full marketing experience begins again?
Well, my challenge to my team is show me the quality of your ideas. I'd actually rather invest less behind a great idea as opposed to more behind a bad idea. So this first question is, have we got a great idea? And we've been working really hard on building distinctive positionings for our brand that make them, really compelling in the marketplace. So this year, from an investment perspective, will be very much a business as usual year, and our focus is really on driving great creative work and making sure that that's delivered in an efficient way.
When you think about Mexican beers that are really popular here in the U.S., I'm thinking of brands like Dos Equis or Tequila. How does this beer that you guys are going to start bringing to the U.S. stack up against those?
It's a big brand in Mexico, and it's going to be a bigger brand in the U.S. So it has all. We talk about a brand having a face, place, and story, and we think the Sol brand's got a great story behind it, a very distinct proposition, and we'll bring that to life in a way that's going to be really compelling. We're very excited about this addition to our portfolio.
All right, Mark Hunter, CEO of Molson Coors and President, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.